Why is it so difficult to just say no, ma'am?
But for many women, it feels almost impossible.
When I say no, I feel like I almost committed a crime.
When belief becomes automatic, then S becomes default. At first, it feels manageable, but over time, the real exhaustion creeps in. Like setting boundaries is not aggression, it's just a form of self-respect.
How does one start to say no without actually, drowning in guilt? We all, feel that guilt, right? How do we overcome that?
Overcommitment, burnout leads to resentment, and resentment eventually leads to guilt.
Yes, who hasn't created a conflict or, feared like we're going to lose a loved one?
Just ask yourself this question and you knew the answer already. Are we saying genuinely yes because we wanted to, or because we are afraid of facing that, discomfort? That's where the real struggle starts.
Exactly. Hello all, this is Farah Fathima from the Department of Psychology, and today we are here with Ms.Bharathi, a psychologist and an assistant professor. Hello ma'am.
Very good morning. Delighted to be here today.
Today we are here with ma'am to talk about something that most of us could relate to. Why is it so difficult to just say no, ma'am?
Saying no seems simple, right? But for many women, it feels almost impossible.
And ma'am, but why is it so impossible? Why does saying no feel so heavy? When I say no, I feel like I almost committed a crime. When I, reject a request or something, it's almost like I've actually committed a crime, ma'am. Why?
Because for many women, we grew up hearing phrases like be quiet, be nice, just adjust a little. These may seem harmless and well intended, but over time, it creates a pattern of prioritizing other self over our own personal boundaries.
I've also been there, ma'am. Then is this struggle really about politeness or is it about conditioning, ma'am?
Okay, for many women, it's more than just courtesy. It's about internalized beliefs that saying no means being ungrateful, rude, or selfish.
Then what about those women who just automatically, believe this, like we are ungrateful when we say no? What about those women, ma'am?
So, okay, when belief becomes automatic, then S becomes default.
Yes, is actually default in all of the women's lives. Then, ma'am, what about the women, who feel unsafe to just say no? What about them?
Because it tied with emotional responsibility. Women feel accountable not only for their own emotions but for emotions around them.
Ma'am, then what about those women who just feel unsafe to say no? Like they can't say it with, a strong voice. What about them?
It's tied with emotional responsibility. Many women feel accountable not just for their own emotions but for people around them. If someone feels, guilt, they internalize it. If someone reacts negatively, they also exactly.
I've also been there. Who hasn't been there, ma'am? Then, ma'am, what about those women, including myself, who anxiously attach ourselves to such things? What about us, ma'am?
Okay, for women with anxious attachment patterns, this saying small no even trigger a fear of losing a connection and fear of creating a conflict. Exactly.
Yes, who hasn't created a conflict or feared like we're going to lose a loved one or something?
Yes.
Been there, ma'am. Then, ma'am, I have a question for you. We want to say no, right? But we keep saying yes. What about those who keep saying yes and then they just end up feeling overwhelmed by it? We keep saying yes and then it's never ending. What about us?
Okay, at first it feels manageable, but over time the real exhaustion creeps in. Overcommitment, burnout leads to resentment, and resentment eventually leads to guilt.
Everyone knows it.
This cycle feeds itself.
It is a vicious cycle, ma'am, now that you're saying. Ma'am, then what about, guilt? Let's talk about guilt now. How does one start to say no without actually, drowning in guilt? We all, feel that guilt, right? How do we overcome that?
Okay, it doesn't start with a dramatic confrontation. Just start saying no to minor requests. Use clear and simple language. Use assertive language like, I'm not ready to take up this right now. And use Set clear boundaries. Like setting boundaries is not aggression, it's just a form of self respect.
And we all need that self-respect, ma'am.
Exactly.
Ma'am, so what is the real question? Are we saying yes because we want to, or because we're afraid if we don't say yes, something else will happen? Is this the fear, ma'am?
You got it, and that's the whole point. That's where the real struggle starts.
Exactly, ma'am. Ma'am, but what about the guilt? How do we overcome that?
Okay, so the next time when you feel guilty for saying no, just pause, ask yourself, are we saying genuinely yes because we wanted to, or because we are afraid of facing that, discomfort? Just ask yourself this question and you'll know the answer already.
Absolutely, ma'am. The fact that we all feel so responsible to say yes is impossible. Thank you so much for your insightful words, ma'am. Any last word for our listeners?
Yeah, saying no is not about rejecting others. It's about choosing ourselves. It's about acknowledging our feelings, our emotions, and giving value to ourselves. And sometimes a small words carries a greatest strength.
That is very deep, ma'am. Once again, thank you so much. And thank you for our listeners for joining us today. Stay tuned for the next time.
Thank you.